Hi everyone. You're about to get started on your Project 2 writing, and we are excited to read your Project 1 writing. One of the things that I know that you all found valuable because you said so in your shout outs was the peer feedback process. But we want to build on your strengths for this, so we were thinking about a good, better, and best. So when we start out with something new that's challenging or a new academic process and you're not quite sure how to do it, it can be really difficult to know like what are the expectations and how should I do it. And I think that we have a really good start and a ton of areas for us to improve. So first thing, I just want to show you a couple of good examples. These are just fine. These are places where people gave positive feedback, suggestions. They said what they thought was really, really important about the paper. And these are very, very good. So we want to start off with that. And I know that it helps always to have another set of eyes on your paper because you can read your paper so many times and then you just miss something. Um, and so these were good. Also, people eventually did get all of their papers uploaded into our peer feedback folders, but there was some confusion about where they need to go. So they need to go in the Google folders, not in Schoology. And I'll address that also in another update. Sometimes it'll show that you have a missing assignment, but it's really that it's just a placeholder for a grade and the assignment goes elsewhere. So these assignments, the peer feedback, go in peer feedback folders. Other thing we wanted to make sure was that the naming conventions were appropriate, and this team right here, nope, that's not it, sorry. A couple of teams did a really good job and they just wanted to make sure you had the naming conventions correct, that it's a Google Doc and not a Word document, and that there's only one copy in the peer feedback folder. Otherwise, it's hard for your peers to know which one to open. So check on those things. Here's a little bit of Tiffany and I. We go back and forth and we peer edit each other's things all the time. We've written a couple of papers together. And so here's a little bit better, right? I asked a question, wanted to get her feedback, wanted to see if she liked a framework. This is actually a real live example of when we were creating our syllabus. So now you'll see how we go through the process. So these are better, right? They say Tiffany wrote here a really elaborate thing about thinking about what it is, and I asked a clarifying question. So we had a real dialogue going between the two of us about what it is. And then she said, I'll add this, I'll give this to you. So any resources that she has, she sends along my way, or vice versa. I do the same. So then this is like a little logistics question about how we should set up the Schoology course, and we had to work really hard to do that, so I hope you guys are enjoying your time here in Technology and Ethics in Society. So these are better, right? We're just having a nice dialogue, we're asking each other's questions, and very good and better. But best would be here, ta-da, in Schoology. We have so many resources in the peer feedback protocols, teams, and Google folders. I'm just going to run through a couple of them here together. So if you look here, here's the peer feedback information. If you watch this video, it goes over, really important to watch it. This is another excellent idea that gives you some stems. If you look, I liked when we do with X because, or have you considered, and it kind of goes up to elevate. And when you're at this highest stage of the RISE model for meaningful feedback, that's when you're really getting into some deep thoughts. So consider that when you're offering peer feedback. And then just to make sure that you hit timelines, on the last paper, there wasn't any place for peer feedback in the rubric. And that was on purpose because it was a new process and we wanted to make sure everybody had a little bit of practice. This time there will be 15 points associated with that peer feedback. So make sure that you offer it and do it really well, and because you want to get the full credit for all of the points. Another resource I wanted to point out to you is this peer dialogue stems. These are really great ways to get your thoughts started. If you're not sure where to begin, maybe even print this out or have it open in another tab and say, this is a way that I can get started. So all these resources are there available to you. Use them because they will help you and your peers, especially with the team challenge, since if all of you get an A minus, you get 10 extra points for our team challenge this week. All right, I hope that's enough. And if you have any questions or comments, please either post them in the questions forum or email us directly, or better yet, reach out to your peer feedback teams. That's what they're there for.